Ishmashi, welcome to the stream. So glad you could make it. Just getting the last few things in order and then we can start. Alright, let's get things underway. Welcome, thank you for joining me. Today's live stream will be a little different than most. I'm going to be doing something a bit more relaxed than normal. You know, I've been thinking about what I want to do today, and I just decided doing something that's a little easier on me would be the best. So I decided to do a monochrome green design of some sort. So a design that uses... Oh, Ishmashi, you love the music? I'm so glad. I wanted to change it up a little bit for today. Here, let me get this plastic off so you can see the colors we're working with today. I wanted to do a monochrome green palette, which means nothing but green for the design today, which can be a little tricky. So I decided to show you a great trick for making patterns and things really easily in your design, and that's using washi tape. It's a sort of sticky tape with a gentle adhesive that's semi-transparent and has, as you can see, a wide variety of patterns on it. Now, I haven't quite decided what pattern we should use today. Maybe we'll use more than one. But for right now... Oh, come on, focus. Focus, you can do it, camera. I believe in you. Right now, I'll focus on starting with the sketch, and then once the sketch is done, you can help me pick out what pattern washi tape we use. This one's really fun. I could see this being a nice lining or belt. And then this one's so dainty. Here, there we go. This one's so dainty. Oh, focus, please. Come on, you can do it. And I have my shamrock teacup here for the occasion. It doesn't get used very often, so I thought, what better day to use it than this? Since I've already decided a lot about the design today, would you like to help me figure out if I'm doing, you know what? Never mind. I think I'll have the most options to play around with green colors and patterns if I do a woman's design or a more traditionally feminine design today, so that's what I'm going to do. I have my green pencil because everything should be green today. Now, whether or not you are Catholic or another denomination that celebrates St. Patrick's Day, I think anyone who loves the color green can appreciate an extra day to wear it. I know I appreciate having an extra day to wear it anyways. You love green too, Mishmashy? That's wonderful. So many people are afraid of it, but it really is such a calming color. So what I'm doing right here is I'm building the structure for a profile, and I'm not the most experienced with drawing faces in profile. But I figure since I'm making decisions for so much of this sketch today, that the least I can do is challenge myself to do something a little different as well. Let's do a long neck today. I'm feeling something a little elven, a little fae-like today. not me just being indecisive about what angle I want to put the shoulders at. The hips are definitely going at this angle, that's for sure. This pose is giving me some trouble today. I'm not sure what it is, but I'll figure it out. I really like the curve of it, and I think there is a lot of potential there. I just need to find it. You know, that's how it is with the creative process. You don't always find it right away. Sometimes it takes a bit of extra work, extra trying. There we go. But if you stick to it and persevere, you'll find something that you're happy with. was around here somewhere. Did it fall under the desk? Did it have it in the drawer here? No. Where did it go? Well, it seems like some fairies in the spirit of the holidays wanted to prank me a little bit, but that's okay. We'll improvise. Let's make sure this is good and tight and never let the tools you have on hand limit your creativity. That's what I say. Now to figure out this part. Here's our center line. I'm gonna move that up there so I don't knock it again. You know, I don't normally do a pretty straight-on angle for the shoulders and neck, but I think I will today. That's what I'm feeling in the design. I like that pose. Mishmashy, good advice on creativity and tools. Limits. Thank you. I think too often people will get in the mindset of, oh, well, I don't have these professional tools that this person has, so I can't do this thing, or I won't be as good of an artist as them. And then you'll hear people who are professional artists saying things like, oh, your tools don't matter at all. You can use the most basic of things and you'll still be able to create good art if you just try. And you know, my opinion falls somewhere in between. I think that while at the end of the day, no amount of expensive materials will create inspiration and artistic vision where there isn't any. At the same time, you can definitely make things more challenging for yourself than they have to be by using improper tools or tools that aren't necessarily made for that specific job. And of course that is something that with enough skill and practice and perseverance anyone can transcend, but at the same time when you're first starting out that's not necessarily what you want to be doing. You're trying to learn a new thing. Learning a new thing is always quite the challenge. So making it harder for yourself by having improper tools that even someone with a lot of talent or skill I always dislike it when people say talent instead of skill for artistic endeavors, but then I go and say it. I think there's a balance between not needing the absolute most expensive tools in the world to get started, but at the same time understanding that your tools are a contributing factor to your craft, to your art. Hello, Help Broom, welcome! Yes, we're doing green today, all green. Not a single grain of other colors allowed today. Well, okay, I may be lying a little bit. Other colors are going to be allowed in the mixing of green today. But as far as what's going on the paper, it's gonna be only green. Saint 1, Snake 0. Oh, funny story. They've actually never been any native snakes in Ireland, so this might just this might be conspiratorial to say, but maybe St. Patrick brought the snakes with him and then said, "Oh, look at all the snakes I got rid of from your land. They were so sneaky you didn't even realize they were here." And the people were like, "Oh wow, he must be a saint." I bet the British put them there for real. Yeah. There was an issue with a British colony in India where the colony was having a problem with cobras, so they put out a warrant for cobras where people would be awarded a certain amount of money for every adult they brought in, and then a certain amount for every juvenile they brought in. But after a bit of running this program, the British administration realized that, well, many people were turning in these cobras. The population that was that had originally been noted was the same, and it was eventually deduced that people eager to, in very capitalistic sense, eager to cash in on the benefits of the warrant, started breeding these cobras instead of just catching the wild ones, and as a result, the British administration cut off the funding for the warrants, which left a bunch of people who were trying to exploit the system with a bunch of now worthless cobras that they'd been breeding, so they all tossed them back out into the streets to get rid of them. They didn't want them anymore. and the colony had even more cobras than it initially had. So yeah, I guess just be careful what you put warrants on, because people will do just about anything for money. Even believe stories about following a rainbow for a pot of gold. At least when they're kids, anyway. Did it? Yeah, I suppose they could have solved that whole issue if they just raised some monkeys. But you know, this is the British Empire we're talking about. They aren't exactly always known for their understanding and benevolence of the native ecosystems of foreign countries. But let's not get too political today. This hand is a little big. We're doing a sort of fairy-inspired design today, so if anyone has any suggestions on what they think a fairy or elf or other type creature would wear, please let me know. I'm open to suggestions since I've made the executive decision to decide so much of this project already. Wings? Well, I don't know about wings, but I was thinking about doing some very draping bell sleeves to sort of insinuate the appearance of wings. Because don't get me wrong, as much as I love the the appearance of wings, I can't deny that most people, even if they're wearing something more formal, wouldn't want to wear wings. Mishmashy bell sleeves rule. Yes, they do. It's supposed to be fairy adjacent. I want it to look as much like a fairy as it can in design and fashion without having any supernatural features. Let's see, help broom, peg leg, hook, parrot, eye patch to bloom, purse. Hey! That's not a fairy. That's a pirate. Let's see. No, I can't do anything with too much structure to it. It's not natural. I need to do something more loose and flowing. I don't know anything about fairies. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to. I know a fair bit about fairies, but I'm still open to any suggestions you may have. Let's see, since I know I want to do those sleeves, I'll start with that. a woodland tiara. Wonderful suggestion. I really like the sound of that. I'll have to figure out some way to draw that. What elements do you think would be involved in a woodland tiara? Here, I'll try. Let's see. Helper, what kind of wood would you use? I'm not sure. I suppose something that looks good with green, since green is the main color motif of this design. Mishmashy leaves and small berries or flowers. Help broom, twigs and a splash of moss. Dangly bits. I love all those suggestions so much. Man, I could tell this is going to be one of my favorite designs already. See. Birchwood? Ooh, birchwood is pretty. Do you mean once it's been treated or cut, or in its natural, more stripy state? Let's see, what if we made the corset around the waist look like a leaf? That would be really pretty. just adding some leaf-like layers to the outer part of the outfit. I still haven't decided if I want to give her, you know, I'm feeling pants a bit more than a long ball gown. It seems more freeing. But at the moment I need to do more of my improvised sharpening since I think some real fairies stole away my sharpener before this stream. That's okay. We improvise, we adapt, and we make beautiful art. Just adding some ribbons and decorations to the legs. I know we had a request for a tiara, so I'll get on that. All right, there's the basic shape. I like that a lot. Let's do this sort of big shape for the hair. That's really pretty. You can barely see it, but this is the line of motion I'm going to be using for her hair. When drawing hair, it's important to keep your movements very relaxed and quick. Otherwise, it won't feel fluid. It will have a sort of stiffness to it that normal hair doesn't have, and people can tell. People can tell when something that's supposed to be fluid is stiff, or vice versa, when something that is supposed to be stiff has a certain fluidity to it that it's not supposed to have. There we go. I can only imagine how heavy the hair extensions would be if you actually wanted to do a photo shoot with something like this. But you know, that's part of the fun of making sketches like this, is I can draw things that are more stylized than any real photograph or digital rendering could be. And as a result, well, you may not get the same realism as with a render. You get the spirit behind it in a much more vibrant and compelling way, I think. Just going back in and roughing up the texture of this hair a little bit, making it a bit more curly. Good enough. Not everything has to be perfect. And let's see, the hairline goes like that, so... I'm not quite sure what I want to do for the tiara. I can start with a leaf here. Maybe another one. I like that. Yeah, I like that. That's the sketch done. I just need to erase, 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 erase. Erase all those lines that helped construct this and leave only the darkest lines behind. There we go. And let me just get the last little eraser flakes off and go in and darken anything up that has lost some of its definition. Of course, in my absent-mindedness, I darkened one of the lines that I wanted to leave lighter. But that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. And I think accepting mistakes and moving past them is an important part of life. If you're not careful, you can just wallow on mistakes forever and never let yourself grow or change and just keep yourself trapped in the past, and that's not good for anyone. Sitting quite right with me. Let's see if I pull everything in first and then have the flare out of it. Yep, that was it. There we go. It's funny how sometimes the smallest changes make the biggest difference. Time for the base coat, finally. Does anyone have any guesses what color the base color is gonna be? Oh, I bet you'll never be able to guess what it is. It's green! I know, not surprising considering the title of this live stream, but you know, I did my best to keep it suspenseful, at least a little bit. This needs just a bit of yellow in with it. It's a little too blue. There, that looks better. Alright, you know what time it is. Now that the base color is down, I'm going to drink some of my tea, and if you have any questions about my artistic process or the current sketch that we're working on, just let me know and I'll do my best to answer. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you all, it is a green tea peach today. I normally don't like having caffeine this late in the day, but it was steeped very lightly, and I don't know, how could I not have a green tea on St. Patrick's Day? Besides, the peach flavor is just so light and refreshing. Well, while this is drying, I suppose I should decide what tape I want to use where. I don't think I want to use more than one of these, so... Ooh, this is actually the perfect width for the ribbon I drew on her legs. Well, I know what I'm using this for. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus this time. on, focus, you can do it. This is what I want you to focus on. Do you think you can do that for me? There we go, I got it. This is option number 1. This is option number 2. And this, oh come on. It's the last one. You can focus for me. You can do it. I believe in you. There we go. This is option number 3. Mishy-mashy. No wallowing allowed? Oh, I know, I'm not wallowing. Green tea, how appropriate. Yeah, green tea is quite appropriate. It's almost, oh, I almost forgot. There's another option that was on my saucer. Let's see, we have 1 vote for 2 and 1 vote for 3. There's also this, which is a little different, but I thought I'd include it just for fun. Let's see. Maybe I'll be able to find a way to incorporate both 2 and 3. We'll see. Alright, tea's gone. Paper's on its way to dry, you know what that means. Now, here's a question for you all. Would you like me to give our model here a more normal skin tone, or should I go all in and give her a green skin tone? I could do either, but I don't know. I'd like you guys to decide, because would it really be green monochrome if the model wasn't wearing green? or didn't have green skin. But at the same time, green isn't a naturally occurring skin color, which would sort of defeat what I said earlier about having natural skin tones or natural elements, no wings and things. So you'll have to let me know. Let's see, 1 vote for green, 1 vote for normal skin. I guess I'll leave the skin for a little later. Funny, green as a color gets a bit of a bad... Oh, hello, color bug. Welcome. You know, it's funny. Green gets a bit of bad press in the fashion community, but I don't think it's entirely warranted. Sure, it certainly can be more challenging to style than some colors, but at the same time it creates some of the most beautiful mixes and complements for things. So I can't in good conscience say that green is a cursed fashion color. But then again, I love just about anything green. Green nails, green clothes, green makeup. If it's green, chances are I'll like it. Chat. You're right. What other day will I have a valid excuse to make the character have green skin? You don't get that option very often, so you know what? I think I'm gonna take it. to avoid any, at least too much Shrek associations, whenever I give a character green skin, which happens surprisingly often now that I think about it, I always like to use a more blue-green, and I like to keep it very light, just so that it still... How do I put this? I don't know, I think when a lot of people think of green skin, they immediately think of Shrek or the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz, which are great characters, don't get me wrong. I'm certainly not going to be one to contend the cinematic masterpiece that is Shrek. However, it's not always the most subtle, and not everything needs to be subtle, but sometimes having a little more subtle design or appearance to it is what people are looking for, and if that's not what comes to mind when people think of green, then I think that's really a shame, because it can be such a subtle and beautiful color. But at the same time, it can be incredibly vibrant and exciting. Alright, now let's just push and pull that color around on the skin a little bit so it isn't too concentrated in one spot. I think that's one of the easiest mistakes to make when painting a skin tone is to make it too even. Even if you're trying to paint someone who has very smooth skin, there will be variation in its pigmentation. It won't all be the same even color. There'll be spots where it's darker, there'll be spots where it's lighter, and that's perfectly natural. And I think that's something that it takes people a bit of time to learn, and I will always be a big supporter of having variation and variety in skin, both in what you represent and in trying to make it lifelike, because when you only have colors to work with, it can be very hard to distinguish skin from fabric. So let's see, we could use this on the pants or on the inside of the bell sleeves. What do you guys think? Both would be pretty. Alright, Mishmashy votes for pants. I'll see if anyone else has any other votes, but in the meantime, I'll finish up these leg bands. Where did I... There it is. just not quite dry enough for it yet. But that's okay. We can be patient. There's lots to work on. Oh man. I'm sorry if I get quiet. I just get caught up in listening to this music. Harp music is one of my favorites, and sometimes I get so caught up in enjoying the music that I forget to speak. While doing this, I need to remind myself that I don't always need to be talking. Sometimes being quiet is enough. I think I'll add some color to her hair. I was originally planning to make it orange, but I think doing some green mixture of some sort would be best. That way I'm sticking to the theme. Mishmashy, what colors are you mixing with your green? Well, that's quite the question. I'm mixing here a combination of yellow, to make it more of a yellow-green. And then I wanted to darken it a little bit, so I experimented with adding this turquoise pigment. And then I added some orange to dull down the intensity of the green, but the problem is if I make it too dull, it's going to look brown, which I don't want. I still want it to look green, but at the same time, I don't want it to be too green either. It's all about striking that balance, and I also don't want it to look like a gross color. Some people, more green. I don't want it to look. I don't want her to look like the bride of the green giant, though. There's a lot of variety in green. I want to be able to show that off. Alright, well, we'll start down with a watered down version of this and see how it looks. The paint water looks so tasty. No, no, don't eat the paint water. That's not good for you. Yeah, you're right, it did need a little more green. There we go. You know what? You're right, the paint water does look tasty. I'm taking a second to look at it, and you know, as far as paint water goes, it looks like it would be minty and fresh. Now what I'm doing is I'm mixing up a secondary color, and I'm just dropping some of it in here. I don't want to do too much of it, just in a few places, but adding some variety to paint while it's wet like this is a great way to create a sort of marbled texture. And you have to be quick and loose with it. If you try and control it too much, it's not going to blend properly. But you know me, I'm super quick and super loose. Don't listen to me, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just being silly. Everyone's gotta be silly sometimes. No matter how hard you try, you can't be serious all the time, and sometimes knowing when to be a little less silly is a good thing. You need to be able to laugh at yourself and laugh at the things that get you down in life or that you find inconvenient. Otherwise, what's the point in any of it? if you can't find humor in what gets you down, then it just gets control over you, and no one likes that. I'm so happy with that marbled look on the hair. I've done it on other things, but I've never done it on hair before, so I'm happy to see that it's turned out so well. That's another thing, you can't be afraid to try new things. Sorry about that. This is taking so much concentration. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm holding my breath. I'm so scared of messing up. And let's add some more color variation to that. Wow. Mishmashy, breathe. Whew, thank you for giving me the reminder to breathe. Sometimes I do forget to do that. Alright, what next? I think I'll do an ombre on these skirts here. That sounds lovely. And then I'll take the same green we've been using, mix in that old green I had just so the whole image flows together, and then add some of the turquoise. And then just add a touch of the orange to dull it a bit. There we go. Now that is a delicious color. I agree, Mishmashy. It is delicious. What I'm doing is I'm just gently creating an ombre or a fade effect here. I'm trying to keep in mind the values of light and dark in this design since I only have the color green to work with. That means that I can't make distinctions between the different pieces of the garment with color. I can only do it with how light or dark the color is, which, I mean, really it's good form to do this even when you do have more than one color, but it is critical that you keep in mind the balance of your lighter and darker colors when you only have one color to work with. Because even though I varied the shades as much as I can, at the end of the day, I still have to keep a cohesive color palette. And trying to keep a cohesive color palette, well, only using one color is perfectly doable. You can vary the shade somewhat, and it'll normally look quite pleasing because the colors are so close together. But being so close together, the colors may have a tendency to be too similar to the point where you can't make out where one part of the design ends and another part begins. And that is the last thing you want in a fashion illustration like this. Alright, while that dries, I think I'm going to start working on inking the sleeves and the hair. Pretty much everything I can. Oh, Mishimashi, the ombre looks great. Thank you so much. I am quite proud of it. I'm quite proud of the whole design, really. Of course, this is when my pen decides it doesn't want to work. think that pen's dead. Oh well. Today is the day of improvising and adapting and overcoming. This is a little thicker than what I'd normally use, but it does the job just as well, so I can't complain. To be extra careful with these lines to keep them from getting too thick, considering that the pen... Let me see if I have a thinner one. Nope, doesn't look like it. This is twice as thick as the one that I'm used to using, but it's a challenge. This part is simultaneously the most relaxing and most stressful part of the whole process for me. Because on the one hand, it's sort of a glorified coloring page at this point, but on the other hand, even the slightest mistake at this point in the sketch could be catastrophic and destroy all the work that I've been doing this whole time. So there's this duality of having everything done for me for the most part, but at the same time knowing that the slightest mistake will be catastrophic. Again, doing the face always makes me a little bit nervous. I don't think there's anything I can do to fix it. It's just something that, again, like I said earlier, even though it is not the focal point of the design, if I mess it up, it will affect so much else of the design that I can't exactly afford to make any mistakes. Once you get into the swing of things, it really is an enjoyable process. It's just about finding your rhythm and finding your flow. I think too many people give up on something they're interested in because they can't find their rhythm in it. And if they just had a little bit more patience with themselves and with the project, they would find a lot more enjoyment in it. Oh, Colorbug, hi! You're on your school account? Well, I'm glad you stopped back in. We're just doing some line work here while we're waiting for the final layer of paint to dry. It's good to see you. I was just talking about how sometimes people don't give new hobbies or interests the proper chance and give up on them before really knowing if it suits them or not. And I think it's a real shame. I think it's a real shame that people in our society are pushed to be good at things instead of enjoying things, because what does it matter how good you are at something if you don't enjoy doing it? And reversely, if you enjoy what you're doing, does it really matter how good other people perceive you are at it? And don't get me wrong, certain things in life are definitely important to have skills in, but it's okay not to be good at everything. And oh, Colorbug, you started watercolor because of these streams? That makes me so happy. Welcome to the watercolor club. It's definitely a medium that doesn't get as much attention these days as, you know, the TikTok famous colored pencil drawings or digital art, but there's something so rustic and soothing about it that I don't think any other medium can quite replicate. Which is why I'm so happy to hear that you've decided to give it a try. And you know, just remember, when trying something new, the fact that you're trying it means much more than the art that you make, especially at first. I know I have a tendency to be hypercritical about myself and the art that I make. So, I'm someone who could definitely use the reminder of it's okay to not be perfect right away. You can take your time. So yeah, I'm sure your art is lovely, and I hope I get to see it someday. I'm just patching a little hole in her hair I found. Not to worry. There we go. All fixed. Let's see, color bug. I've made 2 snails, 1 praying mantis, 2 moths, and a zombie fish. Wow, that's quite a diverse thing to start with. Normally it takes me ages to work up the bravery to try anything new, especially in a new medium, so doing all of that's impressive. Man, I'm just so happy to hear that you decided to try watercolor. You know, along with bringing people relaxation with these streams, that's the other thing I really want to do. I want to inspire people to be creative and to try new things. It doesn't necessarily have to be watercolor, it can be anything, but just try something new, be adventurous. So I'm so proud of you for trying new things, and I think it's wonderful. Almost done. Man, I've been looking. Oh, you know what? I think it's dry enough for the tape. So we're going to take a little break from painting to add the tape. I should add the other tape first. Look at me, so smart. So smart. Want to come off. There we go. Just gotta crease it a little bit. There we go. I'm trying so hard not to cut into the paper, but to get a nice clean cut on this, you have no idea. Let's see, color bug. What mediums work well with watercolor? You know, you can really use anything. I use watercolor, or to start my watercolor illustrations, I like to use colored pencil. I find because watercolor is an inherently very light and delicate medium, things like graphite pencils can make your painting look muddy and dull your colors. So I would say colored pencils are an excellent addition to a watercolor illustration. What else? Colored pencils. If you want more definition to your watercolor, you can always use inking pens, although you need to be careful and make sure the inking pen you use either isn't water soluble, which means that you can put it down before you put down the colors. But just to be safe, I like to use my color after I like to ink after I've put down the color on my paper. That's what I'm trying to say. And then what I'm doing right now is I'm cutting pieces of washi tape and I'm just sticking it on here. It has a very gentle adhesive, so I don't have to worry about it all sticking down to the paper. I can just stick down the little parts that I want. But it adds it's a very easy way to add patterns to a piece. So in short, I'd say really your imagination's the limit of the colors you can add, or the other tools you can use with watercolor. I would say my favorites are washi tape, my favorites are washi tape and colored pencils and inking pen. But that's all personal preference, you know, you will find what you like. So I would encourage you to try new things, even if you're not sure if they're gonna work or not. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to keep in mind what parts of these pants would be cut in different fabrics or in different pieces, and laying out the washi tape accordingly so that it really looks like the garment has seams to it and it's not just all in one piece. I need to turn this a little bit just to get the right angle on it. There we go. There we are. Come on. Grow out there, grow out your nails, they said. It'll be fun, they said. What could go wrong, they said. But for real though, I am enjoying having long nails. Dang it, let's see if I can get this back in place. Come on, in you gets. Alright, close enough. There we go. Mishmashy, you like the color of my nails? Thank you. I wanted to do something festive for the season. Besides, green is my favorite color. I know I've said that many times, but I'll say it again. Green is my favorite color, and I will use any excuse I can to wear it. There we are. Now I will be curious to see if I cannot ink on top of the washi tape. That's good to know. It does seem to leave a little bit of a stain, which is better than nothing. So I'll just do that and then wipe away the top layer, and there we go. Alright, next up for the washi tape. Come on. Getting the cut started is always the hardest part. There we go. There we are, come on. Beautiful. Let's see, I was going to add this on top of these, but you know what? I kind of like it better without. Let's see, do I want to add this here? Let's see. You know what? I don't really like it there as much. Maybe across the neckline? that's enough washing. Maybe here. Looks good as is. You know, I'm inclined to agree, but I just want to add a little bit of this as a crown. Ignore my head. There we go. And let's give this the old tear. There we go. Beautiful. Here, let me move this closer to the camera so you can see the close-ups a little better. Look at that. Not to brag, but I think that's pretty good. Alright, now for the final little bit of inking. Thank you, Mishy Mashy. I almost forgot about this tiny part of the other pant leg that's visible. Stay put, I know you want to. we go. And to finish off, just to add the leaf line work back onto the corset. There we are. Beautiful. All right. Let's see, did I forget to ink anything else? I don't think so, just here. And there we have it, the finished piece. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this live stream as much as I did, and I hope to see you all again next week. I'll be doing a March themed design of some sort, so that'll be exciting. I really appreciated you all being here, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. See you next time, Mishy Mashy. See you next time, Colorbug. See you next time, everyone. It was so lovely to have you all in chat and have you all come along with me on this very green adventure. Alright, I hope you have a good rest of your evening, and take care.